Hi there guys, it's Joel here from Aussie Chart Trends. Today's market update is for the week ending Friday the 7th of December 2012. Coming to you late on Saturday night, it's about 8 o'clock. I've had an issue with my charting program today. I haven't been able to use the charting tools for some reason. However, I'm able to get that program working now. So before we get into today's update, I've just got to remind everyone that asx200.com.au and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in this video is intended to be used as any form of investment advice. I'm not a licensed professional. You need to make your own decisions regarding your investments. I'm just here to help anyone searching for a practical direction in today's markets. So if we take a look now on the daily chart of the smp500, we can see here we had this triple top formation up here where we had three peaks, and each peak here we noticed that it didn't quite exceed the past peak. Each peak became lower. Now after we seen this triple top formation, we seen this area break here, on this red bottom support line, and then I was of the opinion that we may have been looking at a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, which indicates a head and shoulders topping formation. Now we had a minimum expected target down. We didn't quite get there, but the way that we measured that move was from measuring the depth of this pattern, the height of the pattern, and adding that onto where the market broke down. And as you can see, after we broke that 1405 area, we came down to meet roughly that target. So in the meantime, we've reversed up, and we did see a little reversal pattern down here in last week's trade, and now we've watched the market rally on up. Let's take a look on the hourly chart and see what's going on there. In this week's trade of the S&P 500, we've watched the markets break this support line here from our rising wedge pattern. Now, after breaking this area, we've seen a nice back test on this area, and then we got underneath our support area there, around that 1410 area, and as you can see, the S&P got stuck between these two areas here and looked as if we weren't sure as to which way the market was going to go. But we do have a clue and an indication, even though that this rising wedge pattern has broken. Reason being is because we do have another pattern. This blue line here, we've been watching this inverted head and shoulders pattern. Now, what is an inverted head and shoulders pattern? Similar to a head and shoulders topping formation, but it's where we have a left shoulder here, a head, and a right shoulder form with a handle pattern, which I must say this handle pattern isn't very good looking handle pattern, but we did get a little bit of roundness there with the breakout. Now we measured the depth of the head and we bring that up to where the neckline is, and we add that onto where the market broke out to get that minimum expected target. Now as you can see, we have that minimum expected move around that 1430, 1435 area. It looks as if that we may be creating a little rising channel. Now I would say that the S&P 500 just may stay within between this boundary line and our top boundary line to our rising wedge pattern. I think that we're still going to get up to that 1430, 1435 area as an expected target in the following weeks or days. I would be concerned if the S&P 500 broke this area here, and if we broke underneath our right shoulder over here, that's when I would be starting to be bearish on this market. But for now, I think that we're definitely going to get up to this area, and then in the week ahead, we'll have to assess where we go from that point onward. Alright, let's take a look now at the asx200 and see what's going on in that market. Looking on the hourly chart here of the asx200, which means each candlestick here represents 1 hour of trade. We've been watching the asx200 this week stay within this channel, and then eventually we broke this area, and then we made a small back test, and then the markets proceeded to go sideways. And it appears that we've had a little symmetrical triangle pattern, and we've had that break to the upside, as you can see. By measuring the first reactive move down of this pattern, we could expect to see that the ASX 200 rally on up at least to that 4,560 area. And we also have this large inverted head and shoulders pattern. Now, it's not the best looking inverted head and shoulders pattern, but I am going to call it for what it is. And we do have an expected move from this pattern of around that 4,590 area. Now, it's exactly the same as the way that we would measure the smp500. We measure the depth all the way up to that blue neckline, and then we add that onto where the market broke out, and you can see that's our minimum expected target, which is interesting because that would be surpassing this last top area, and I would say then we would probably at least get a pullback if we surpass this area. However, if I extend the chart out a little bit, we can see that we had this head and shoulders topping formation over here. That played out exactly to our minimum expected move, and we overstepped our minimum expected move from this pattern by at least 25 points, and then we've seen this inverted head and shoulders pattern to reverse the market back up. There's one thing that I do want to point out is this blue line here. It acted as resistance a number of times. Then once we got over this area, it then acted as support a number of times. But if we extend this blue line out, you can see roughly that we'll probably encounter an area of resistance here on this line here around that 4,560 area. So it'll be an interesting week. We may just fly above this area and get to that minimum expected target, or we may find resistance earlier during next week around this area. Okay guys, so that pretty much wraps up the market update. I'm sorry once again to get this market update done late. Also guys, I do recommend that you pop over to tradingforblondes.com.au and feel free to sign up to their newsletter over there. You'll find my updates regularly posted on their website, and you can also learn about options as well. Feel free to pop past my website there and put in your name there and your email address. And every now and then I'll send out an email just to give you an update on what's going on in the marketplace. So guys, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Monday for a free daily market update. And if you enjoy my videos, all I ask is that you just click the subscribe button on YouTube. Thanks for watching.